Cruiser's back out in the barn waiting for some parts to come in, so I got it sitting out here out of the shop. It's a little quick video show how I put it together. So this is the snorkel coming in here, and I cut the boot tapers down and I cut it to where it would fit on the outside of this 4-inch on the inlet. It's a K&N filter. Still need to work on. I'm going to put a form a gasket inside, not literally that brand name, but I'm going to form a gasket in there with some cellophane over it with the lid pressed in, so that there'll be a shoulder inside here to mount this filter housing against. So goes into this coupler here with the Mishimoto clamps, and then this, the only purpose for this here is to help create a gasket around the sensor. So what I did was punched a hole almost the exact diameter with a hole saw inside this pipe, or on the outside of this pipe, through the pipe there. And then I put this on here to act as a sleeve to kind of just buffer it. And there's another O-ring. I took another O-ring in addition, or took the OE O-ring off, put a fatter O-ring inside there that would fill up the hole I punched in this, the coupler, and as well as in the pipe itself. So it's got a real tight seal. And then I just pre-drilled these holes here, and they, because they're going through the rubber, they seal up really nice in there. I can't find any holes anywhere that are allowing any air post filter. So this pipe I got, it's on the list. This pipe I got, I think it was 2 feet long, and I cut it down, and I bought a pipe beater to bead the pipe up on the end. I really didn't like it. I ended up sending the beater back, but it worked for what I did, and I polished it up, cleaned it up afterwards, so it still looks good. Oh, I forgot to say, after I punched this hole here, I went ahead and laid it on something flat, and used the ball peen hammer on the flat side, and just gently, or no, excuse me, it was a dead blow mallet, and gently formed a flatter spot here so that this would be seated as flat as I could get it. So then this end's already pre-beaded from the manufacturer. Obviously, this is all pretty straightforward. I have a different clamp. I don't like this clamp. I got a different one I like better that I'm going to put on here, and I've got another one coming for this one as well. So this elbow here, it's, when you get it, it's going to be a lot longer. It's going to be the same distance here. And this is the inlet and the outlet are different, excuse me, inlet versus outlet are different diameters, and it's on the spec sheet there. But you want to cut this down about 3/4, so wherever it starts to flatten out here as it comes around, you want to go 3/4 or so inches, or 3/4 of an inch or so beyond that, to make sure you've got a nice flat surface to clamp to. So anyway, back over here, this is the 3/8 or excuse me, 1/4-inch NPT knockout that's here for this. And so I just used some fairly inexpensive, they're not real fancy, clamps on the ends where I might end up pulling it off in the future. I have the big ARB air compressor in there. I'm gonna end up running both my filters off of, or into this here. I'm gonna tee off of it down below, so that I've got fresh air, more fresh air coming in for the compressor. Should have done that a few years ago. But anyway, down here is a 3/8 to 1/8 reducer. I believe it's right. That's the right size. And then I just did Oetiker fittings on everything. Originally I was doing these same hose clamps here, but it looked goofy and it caught on everything. So because I have my cover off, I went ahead and put a clamp here. This pipe line right here, it's a preformed OE factory line. I'm going to change this out. I've got a fitting, a reducer fitting, another one that came, and I'm going to run these in parallel and put another one of these brackets for this line right beside it, run it up here, and do bolt it, another one of these clamps, clamp it up here as well. So this will run parallel from here to here and all the way up. So, and then I did one of those inexpensive clamps here. They work good. They're not a problem if you don't mess with them a lot, or they're not getting jerked around. They're just right for vacuum. They work. So anyway, just some tees here, some barbed tees, and that's pretty much it. So you can see, comes right through and in. Turned out to be a really clean install. I'm pretty stoked with it. So the only thing I need to do, like I mentioned before, is form a gasket in here with a nice shoulder on it, and I dare say that it'll be waterproof. So anyway, hope that helps out. Take care. One more detail on this that I forgot to point out. As you know, this male portion of this check valve is much smaller. So what I did was sleeve it. I took a 1/8 inch pipe, or excuse me, hose, vacuum hose, same stuff, fuel and oil resistant, and put it on there. It's only like 3/4 to an inch long. So just put it up inside there and then clamped it on, and it's not going anywhere. This whole thing is really solid. So anyway.